Well, that's a nice way to stay away from controversy, isn't it? Yeah, so the Hall of Fame inductees came out. Marty Berger, this guy, Marty San Louie, Alexander Yakushev, Jayna Hafford, Willie O'ree, and Gary Bettman. Now, the first thing that stands out to me is no McGillney, no Roenick, again, and there are some guys who clearly aren't getting the votes they're not going to get in. Marty Berger, that's a no-brainer, absolutely belongs in the Hall of Fame, no question about it, 125 shutouts, all-time wins leader. You can't not have him in the Hall of Fame. He belongs there. And I've got a Devils logo up there because I don't care if he works with the Blues right now or not. It doesn't look right. Somebody needs to tell me. It just doesn't look great. Marty San Louie, yep, he retired a Ranger. But again, it doesn't look great. He's a Tampa Bay Lightning member. And he belongs there. Now, would I have had him there ahead of McGillney? That's where I look at some of the votes and I go, I don't know. I really don't know. And I'm not saying that as a slight to San Louie. San Louie had a Hart Trophy and a Stanley Cup. But McGillney, for me, I don't know. Anyways, that's for a whole other time. We'll get into the people that aren't in the Hall of Fame and try to figure out why. Alexander Yakushev was part of the 1972 Summit Series for USSR. Why can't Paul Henderson get in the Hall of Fame? And I was okay with him not being in there a few years ago, but I look at some of the guys who are getting nominated now and getting put in there, and I go, wait. But Henderson scored the most important goal during the most important tournament that was ever played. We've tried to recreate it with all the Canada Cups since then, but the 1972 Summit really is this thing. And it happened before I was born, and yet I get the importance of it and how amazing it was, and yet they won't put Henderson in. They won't put in Team Canada and Team USSR as a whole. I don't understand it. Jayna Hafford, Olympic goal in 2002, 2006, 2010, 2014 for Team Canada. Jayna Hafford, I have no problem with her being there. She's number 2 in scoring for Team Canada internationally behind Hayley Wickenheiser. And Willie O'ree, who broke in with the Bruins. Of course, he broke hockey's color barrier. He had a total of, I think, it's 10 points in 45 games played in the NHL. His point totals aren't important. What he did and what he's done since then. Willie O'ree has been a very visible person publicly over the last, and especially over the last few years, it seems that we're seeing him a lot. And now the NHL has a trophy in his name as well. So Willie O'ree belongs there. There's going to be people that have an issue with Gary Bettman being in the Hall of Fame. And I get it. But under Bettman's watch, the league has grown. The league's revenues have grown as well. He's been in this job for a very long time. And the league is more prosperous now than it was when he took over. And honestly, I know there are a lot of people that don't like him. I know there's a lot of people who aren't going to like this inclusion. And when I saw it, I thought, oh boy, that's fantastic. But for me, I don't have a problem with him getting in. The only place where I start having an issue is some of the all-time great NHLers that I see just not getting in there. And, we can discuss why. And again, I'll do a video on people that aren't in the Hall of Fame and where I think they're potentially failing. And when I talk about where they're potentially failing to be Hall of Famers, by all means, we'll be able to point out guys who are already in the Hall of Fame who have that same failing. So it's going to be an interesting discussion. Definitely Marty Berger is the headliner for this Hall of Fame induction. Him and Marty San Louie and Willie O'ree is long overdue. Willie should have gone in, and I think Willie O'ree would have gone in much, much sooner had hockey's landscape been different 20 years ago than what it is now. So I see this as definitely being a progressive stance by the Hockey Hall of Fame committee. And I know it's not just NHL, and that's why Yakushev can get in here and Jayna Hafford can get in here. But it does make for some interesting arguments for or against. And I know there'll be some arguments for and against. I know that of those that are in here, I know Hafford, Yakushev, and Bettman likely will cause some questions. I don't have a problem with it personally, but I know there will be some that do. That's just the nature of the beast. this whole online reporting thing. Anyways, let me know who you think really should have got in this year. Again, for some of these guys who don't get in the Hall of Fame, they're going to have to wait for a year when there aren't very many guys who are up, like a Daniel Alfredsson. How is Alfredsson not in here? It's one of those things that we'll take a look at. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And there's your 2018 NHL, or NHL. See, right away it goes to NHL. Your 2018 Hockey Hall of Fame inductions for this year. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.